We will now hear a presentation by Mr. Alexander Trepelkov, Officer in charge of the Division for Sustainable Development Goals of the Department of Economic and Social Affairs on the SIDS Partnership Accelerator. Mr. Trepelkov, you now have the floor. Thank you.
Madam Ambassador, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to address this year's Global Multi-Stakeholder SIDS Partnership Dialogue. My presentation today will focus on a new initiative launched last year by the UNDESA under the title A Partnership Accelerator for the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. In this context, I will share a few suggestions on how it relates to SIDS in particular. The objective of the 2030 Agenda Partnership Accelerator is to provide governments, UN entities, and other stakeholders with the necessary tools and skills for accelerating and scaling up effective partnerships across all stakeholders to advance the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals in all countries, including SIDS. Next slide, please. Through its activities, the Partnership Accelerator aims to support an enabling ecosystem for partnerships, which includes the following four main elements. First, putting in place an enabling national and international policy environment that is supportive of collaboration. Second, ensuring that institutions and individuals are equipped with necessary skills to make partnership happen. Third, building partnerships that are in line with good practices and standards, including, for example, the SIDS partnership criteria and norms. And fourth, fostering national platforms and policy space that can catalyze new partnerships and action. Next slide, please. In this context, we have recently launched two new publications that I would like to highlight briefly. The first one, the SIDS Partnership Guidebook, provides a wealth of guidance and tools on how multi-stakeholder partnerships at the country level can deliver concrete results and impacts for the SDGs. The second one, partnership platform for the SDGs, draws out good practices from emerging national partnership platforms that have proved to have great potential in accelerating progress towards the SDGs. Both publications are now available on our website, which does not show on the slide, but it's very easy to remember, sustainabledevelopment.un.org/partnership accelerator. Next slide, please. A key feature of the Partnership Accelerator is the National Partnership Workshops, which provide an opportunity to build relationships and develop synergies between different sectors and stakeholders in identifying potential for new, durable, and lasting partnerships. Such workshops are carried out in close collaboration with the in-country UN resident coordinator, the national government, development partners, and a range of relevant national actors, including business leaders, academia, and other stakeholders. Next, please. Thanks to a generous contribution by the Government of Ireland, we are in the process of adapting the general trading materials on SDG partnerships to the SIDS specific context. When preparing for the workshops that I mentioned, a local consultant is engaged to develop a partnership landscape analysis, including mapping out actors, sectors, and areas where new partnerships partnerships can be forged, and adapting the workshop program to the unique context of each country. We are currently working with the resident coordinators in 2 SIDS, namely Samoa and Maldives. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had to delay much of the preparatory work. However, this work will soon resume as appropriate in each pilot country. Next slide, please. In Samoa, based on the initial feedback from the resident coordinator, the workshop will focus on bringing together stakeholders in support of various funding mechanisms in the country and in the region, ensuring a whole of society approach to deliver partnership. Let's move to Maldives. In Maldives, preparations are still in the early stages. Given the current COVID-19 crisis, the workshop could be an opportunity to identify how partnerships can play a role in a sustainable and resilient recovery by strengthening engagement of relevant stakeholders and sectors. While we are committed to making these workshops happen, we're closely monitoring the situation in terms of relevant travel restrictions, as well as following any national guidance. To ensure we don't lose momentum, we are also exploring the possibility of holding virtual meetings with national stakeholders and developing online training material. Last slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, in concluding, I wish to advise you that we have received a generous contribution from the government of Italy for carrying out additional national activities, when the situation allows for it, of course. We would be particularly interested to work with interested SIDS in the Caribbean region to ensure that we maintain proper geographical balance. So I encourage you to express interest in working together for SIDS partnerships. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.